Welcome to Get Ripped Collectibles.
Gator Dave, Gator Dave, Gator Dave. How you doing, sir?
I am not bad, Mike. Not bad at all, buddy. Hope you're doing well over there. Both of us kind of hanging our heads a little low from last weekend, but we're fans, so we're all about our team, and we're gonna hang in there, right?
That's right. That's right. No other choice. But yeah, last
That's
week
right.
was
That's
not fun. Not a fun time.
not fun at all. So first, let's get a few things out of the way. Please subscribe if you have not already. We'd love to have as many on board as possible. It really help us out. Obviously, we want everybody to hit that like button if you like the show. And let's interact in the chat. Last week we probably had a dozen people in the chat just throwing smack everywhere. It was really a blast. Kind of drew out our show a little bit, Mike. But it was kind of fun having people involved in the action, so to speak. So
Oh, it was awesome.
very very cool. So last week a little under 500, both of us at 5-7. So Gator Dave still just only three ahead of Mike. He easily can blow past in 1 week is all it's going to take. So you want to throw up where we were last week there, Mike? You got the numbers from last week by chance?
Yeah, not too great. Not too great.
Not too great, but we're going to definitely make an effort to improve this week. But I look at some of the soothsayers out there, and we're doing as well as they do. So keep rolling in and joining the fun with Gator Dave and Miami Mike. So I know we're having a blast. So Mike, I think you got the first game, sir. Friday night game.
Yeah, so we got a Friday night game here, Wyoming against UNLV. I'm not even going to get too deep into this one. UNLV is a much better team. Wyoming started good this year. They competed against Texas. They won at home against teams that they shouldn't have. Pretty much that's because of the altitude. And Wyoming has been really good at home, but they're playing on the road in this one, and they have not been so good on the road. UNLV on the opposite side, absolutely great at home. They play at the Raider Stadium and Allegiant Stadium, so you don't have to worry about weather conditions or anything like that. UNLV has the better offense. Their quarterback is a beast. I'm going with UNLV in this one. I think they're just going to be too much, so give me UNLV minus 5.5 here. Who do you like, Dave?
Yeah, so Mike, this is kind of a cool game to pick. As I was kind of looking through, Wyoming's they've been out there 6-3, 5-3-1 against the spread, and UNLV 7-2, 8-1 against the spread, was pretty damn good. Wyoming's won 3 of the last 5. Wins against Colorado State, Fresno, and New Mexico State. Losses at Louisiana Air Force. UNLV's won 4 of their last 5. Only lost to Fresno. Wins over New Mexico, Colorado State, Nevada, Hawaii. Right now, all the money is on UNLV, so I kind of get why Mike is picking UNLV in this game. But I got a little tidbit for you there, Mike. UNLV, doing a little digging on the numbers. I haven't bet the numbers. So UNLV has seen an average combined total in all their games this year of 62.1 points. That's an average, okay?
That's pretty high.
If we dig a little deeper, the total has only gone under 51 twice, but listen to the games, it was under 51. Colorado State when they won, and Michigan when they got their butt kicked. So Gator Dave's going to call this one the first game of Gator Dave Lock and say over 51, Mike, over 51.
Ooh.
So I think we got 2 surefire bets here in taking UNLV and the over 51.
I like that.
Very interesting. Pulled that one out at the last minute there, Mike, this afternoon, digging around. So, all right,
I couldn't decide. There's literally another 4 games that I have full like breakdowns for that I couldn't decide if
Yep. And when
which
you
one
can't
I wanted to
decide,
throw in there.
don't
So
go. Don't
I
go.
went I went
Can't
one
decide.
without any of them. I just went completely out of the blue. So
Awesome. All right. Let's see what else we got here. So next up, we're going to your ACC there, Mike. We're going to Virginia Tech at Boston College. Two teams that kind of started in the trash, but Virginia Tech, I got my boy my boy Randy that works for me there at Capstone. He's a big Virginia Tech guy. They're coming in at 4-5, 5-4 against the spread. Boston College 6-3, 4-5 against the spread as well. Obviously, that was from the beginning of the year where they weren't hitting that spread, right? Tech's won 3 of their last 5 games. Their losses to the 2 best teams in the ACC against FSU and Louisville, 2 clear favorites in the SEC with your boys bumping up there. But so Boston College has won its last 5 games. Wins over Syracuse last week by 7, Georgia Tech by 15. They haven't showed me anybody big, though. That's the other thing about Boston College. Virginia Tech's ranked 88th in offense, 53rd in defense, 55th toughest schedule. Boston College, 71 on offense, 71 on defense, 75 strength of schedule. So kind of straight across the board there. The BC quarterback, Drones, completing 59% of his passes for 1,300 yards. He's 7-2 on the touchdown to interceptions. He can run the ball, 406 yards, 3.7 yards a carry. Tootin, the running back, 535 yards at 4.4 carry, a carry, which isn't too bad for Boston College. Boston College has a defensive lineman. His name's Antoine Powell. He has 9 sacks for the Hokies.
not bad.
9 sacks for the Hokies. And you know what team he played for last year, Mike? He played
Tell
for
me,
the
Dave.
Florida Gators. And he didn't want to stay around with Billy.
You guys could
so
really
he
use
moved.
those 9 sacks this year. That's a disappointment.
Yeah, because we probably got less than that as a team, Mike. I just got to throw that one out there. So the Boston College quarterback Castellone is 17, 14, 58%, 17-2. He leads the team in rushing at 760 yards and 5.2 yards per carry. This one's going to be one of those running quarterback games. Lots of running, not a lot of gunning. One other point to make, the Hokies have had some major issues stopping the run this year. So that's obviously Achilles heel when you're looking at all the numbers and the fact that both these teams are going to run the ball a lot. Their quarterbacks aren't that accurate. They don't throw a lot. So it's going to be a lot of running the ball. And if one team or another isn't that great covering the run, then it could be an issue. Tech's lost 4 road games, and BC's won 4 of their last 5 home games. So I'm going to kind of lean that and the fact that Tech has issues with the run, and I'm going to go ahead and go Boston College and give me 1.5 in this one, Mike.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Virginia Tech is definitely a different team on the road than they are at home when they don't have that inner Sandman bumping through the speakers before pregame. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm actually going to be on the opposite side here. I'm going to go Virginia Tech. I think that they were doing all the right things. We talked about them last week against Louisville. They actually, if they would have won that game, they were actually going to be sitting at number 2 in the ACC. Probably was going to have a shot against Florida State because they have a pretty favorable schedule left. But they are sitting at 4-5 as a team, and they got to win 2 out of these last 3 to be bowl eligible. The good news is, like I said, their schedule's pretty easy. Boston College is definitely a threat, though. Castellanos is 100% a running threat. I watched that game last week, though, against Syracuse, and my God, Syracuse dropped about 10 interceptions. I mean, Syracuse should have easily won that game. It was one of the worst games of the season to watch.
It was horrible.
You can see the talent, though, that Castellanos has, right? And Boston College, they're bowl eligible. They just got that win last week. So let's be real. They probably, we're not going to make the ACC championship, but their goal was to get a bowl. They just got that big win on the road in the Dome. They had to come back and win. Virginia Tech on the opposite side got absolutely destroyed by that Louisville team last week, blown out. I think Virginia Tech bounces back in this one, and I think they are able to beat Boston College, get back to 5-5, and put themselves in a good spot to make a bowl game here. So give me the Hokies.
All right, very good. Let's hit one of your others you've thrown out there that you seem to love that conference down south, don't you? Down there in the Sun Belt. We're going to start calling you Sun Belt Mikey.
Oh, that's not. That doesn't roll off the tongue, Dave. You're gonna have to work on that
Billy. They call Billy Napier Sun Belt Billy, but I think it's all about Sun Belt Mike because he loves picking down there in the.
You know what else I love, Gator Dave? Cover your assets. I love cover your assets. If you're going to any stadium, sporting event, concert, high school game, bowling alley. I don't know if they're at bowling alleys. They should be. It's real simple. You snap on the cover, snap off the cover when you're going through security. You snap it back on so nobody can see what you got going on inside. Check it out. It's on the top. The website, shopcya.com. They got tons of designs, tons of schools, tons of patterns. Check it out. Not too long left in the season, but you can get yours. Be the trendsetter in your group. Be the trendsetter in your stadium. ShopCYA.com. Check it out.
Awesome. All right, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Don't forget to like, subscribe. We really appreciate everybody in the chat, but really, if you could, like the video, drop a comment. Really, really helps us out. Thank you again for everybody that joined in. It's awesome seeing everybody in the chat. Y'all crack us up. We do see the chat. Buddy. Don't doubt it.
Navoski's back in the chat.
Let's
do this. All right, Mike, hit it.
All right, going to the Sun Belt here. So we got Texas State -1 at Coastal Carolina. So Coastal is going to be without their starting quarterback, Grayson McCall, in this one. He's got a head injury. It's bad news for Coastal because their backup, who's actually not too bad, Jared Guest, he's got over 400 yards this year, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception in the games that he's played. He is also looking like he's not going to play in this one. So that leaves third string Ethan Vasco for Coastal Carolina. He does have a dual threat ability, but Ethan Vasco is not too great at throwing the football, folks. So granted, he will get a full week of reps with the ones here, so it should help with his progressions, should help with his understanding a little bit better, but I think you know where we're going to go with this one. This Texas State offense is just going to be too much to keep up with. Quarterback TJ Finley is playing some of his best ball of the year right now. He's thrown for over 2,500 yards on the year. He has only 5 interceptions, and they got a running back named Ishmael Mahdi. Absolute dog. He's going to crack the 1,000-yard mark in this game for the season. So they are not a one-dimensional team by any stretch. They're pretty even. They actually average over 200 passing yards and over 200 rushing yards as an offense. I think this one, with the spread being at 1, is an absolute gift. And I'm going to take a play out of Gator Dave's book here and go with a Miami Mike lock in this one. Texas State, money line. Book it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Who do you got, Dave?
Boom. So I'm a heavy lean there, buddy. So I love this Texas State team, and TJ Finley, and it's just such an amazing story of that kid moving around and ended up at this school and
this is like his fourth school.
Beginning something like that. I mean, in the beginning of the year, going in there kicking Baylor's ass, it's just awesome, man. And people were talking about this team's incredible, and they've done a great job. 6-3, they're 5-4 against the spread. Coastal's won their last 4 games. But they beat Old Dominion, Marshall, Arkansas State, App State. That's a pretty decent win. They did lose to Georgia Southern. Texas State's offense ranked 18th in the country. Defense not so hot at 87th. And Coastal's offense is like 52nd with their first string quarterback. We're going to third string. Could be a problem. Both these teams are sitting in second in their divisions, behind the big boys of the Miami Mike Sun Belt Conference. So they're this win could help propel them into the next level. Although I don't think anybody's going to take care of James Madison, and Troy's awful damn tough. So we know the Sun Belt, Mike. We know the Sun Belt. So Texas State racked up 487 yards against a good Georgia Southern team last week. I think I'm going to ride into this game and go with the money line and Texas State there with Miami Mike, and go with that Miami Mike lock here. So we going Texas State.
Love it. Love it, Dave. All right, sir.
All right. Next game. We're going to the Big 12. Soon to be Big like 16, whatever. So we got Texas Tech at Kansas. We're at Texas Tech coming in at 4-5. They were supposed to be the darlings this year. They were supposed to be that TCU team this year. They're 4-5 against the spread. Kansas comes in at 7-2, 5-4 against the spread. Tech did beat TCU last week. But TCU's not that good this year. They lost to BYU by 13, and BYU sucks. And they also lost to Kansas State by 17 in the previous week. So I'm not too high on the Texas Tech Red Raiders at all. Kansas, however, they won their last against Iowa State. That somebody thought they were going to win, but they took CB. Sure. And they also took care of Oklahoma. They did lose to Okie State by 7, but Okie State's playing quite well, as we all know. Texas Tech comes in 48th best offense, 66 on defense, 25 on strength of schedule. Kansas comes in at the 20th ranked offense, which is damn good. 77 on defense, so a little over halfway, and 37th strength of schedule. Look for the rushing attacks to take over in this game and drag it out a bit. Red Raiders have Taj Brooks, a senior who can rush the ball, 1,037 yards, 5.7 yards per carry. Kansas has Devin Neal, 828, averaging 6.1, as well as Shaw, who's the backup. He's had 517 yards at 5'8". And, of course, the quarterback for Kansas not afraid to run the ball as well. The good news is the Red Raiders got back their quarterback, so this is going to change things a bit. They've had some injuries at quarterback. Morton's going to be back. He was back against TCU, so he's obviously going to be ready for this weak defense that Kansas has. But I just don't think it's going to be enough. Give me them Jayhawks at home to cover 3.5 points, Mike.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dave. I just think both teams. Texas Tech has just been on a roller coaster all year long. They've lost against teams that they should beat. They've beat pretty badly some teams that they probably shouldn't have. But there's just no consistency here for me. So I'm with you. I'm going Kansas. Kansas is actually on third down percentage on offense this year with their backup quarterback, 49%. Not too bad. Not too bad.
That's pretty damn good. And my God, their backup quarterback, I mean, dude, he's done well. He's done well.
Yeah, Jason Bean is good. Texas Tech is 1-3 on the road. Kansas is 5-0 at home. So I'm with you. Give me the Jayhawks here minus the 3.5.
Easy. Yep. Anu Bus in the house, man. Anu Bus. Yep. joining us. So next game, Mike, let's go back to our favorite league.
Going back to the Sun Belt, baby. Going back to the well here. So we got Georgia State at App State. Or no, I'm sorry, App State at Georgia State. Georgia State's favored by 2 in this one. You got Georgia State coming off 2 big losses in a row. First one was to rival Georgia Southern, and last week they lost to undefeated James Madison. So 2 pretty good teams that they've lost to. App State is giving up over 195 yards a game on the ground this year. Georgia State has a guy by the name of Marcus Carroll, who's got over 1,000 yards on the ground already this year. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry, and he has 12 rushing touchdowns already. Their quarterback, Darren Granger, also a major running threat. He's got over 550 yards on the ground. He's averaging over 5 a carry. He's got 7 touchdowns on the year. Offensively, Georgia State does not have any problems. App State is coming off one of their biggest wins of the year against Marshall last week. They beat them 31-9. But Marshall is really, if you look kind of deep down at that team, they've really, really struggled. They actually played Georgia Southern this week, and that was one also that we were kind of on the line with Gator Dave, putting that one on the show. But I think this one has all the makings for a letdown here for App State. App State is 1-3 on the road this year compared to 4-1 at home, but this one is in Atlanta. Not looking good for the Mountaineers on the numbers side. Give me the Panthers money line here to get it done at home, Gator Dave. Who do you got?
Interesting, Mike. So, obviously this game with only -2, Georgia State -2 being the favorite here. App State coming into enemy territory. Not too well against the spread, 3-5-1. Georgia State's 5-4 against the spread, which is a couple points better than they have. App State beat Marshall, like you said. They beat Southern Miss, ULM. No names. They have lost. They lost to Old Dominion, which they're not that great. That's kind of middle of the packer, as well as Coastal. Georgia State. They've had a rough couple of weeks. Like you said, James Madison, which to me, and we've talked about it before, is the best non-Power 5 team out there right now. So, losing
absolutely.
to them, respectable, but they've also lost to Georgia Southern. App State's offense, so I was looking at the numbers. So App State's offense, 26th. Defense blows at 82. Georgia State's offense is 62, defense is 77. Their strength of schedule is very close. So that's one of the things kind of pushed me a little bit. App State quarterback last week, Aguilar was 20-27, 229, and 3 TDs. Right. Mike, I'm going to go with the hot hand here, and I'm going to go with App State, and give me 2 points in App State in this one here, Mike.
You can have them.
All right.
Go Panthers.
Gimme.
All right, so take us to the Big 12 here.
Big 12. This is an exciting game. So, got a lot of friends in Oklahoma, friends and colleagues from work, as well as the old days of FedEx, because I was out there in Oklahoma for a while. But so we got Oklahoma State at UCF. We're playing in the bounce house, Mike. OSU comes in at 7-2, 6-3 against the spread. UCF is 4-5, 3-6 against the spread. OSU big win over the Sooners last week in Bedlam. Boom! Wins over Kansas and Kansas State. I mean, you look at those wins and you're going, damn, is OSU maybe the best team in the Big 12 right now, Mike? Could be. UCF lost 4 or 5 games. Their only win in that time was against Cincinnati by 2 points. They lost 2 weeks ago to West Virginia, 41-28. They've lost to Baylor at home. I mean, Baylor. Oklahoma State, 46th best offense, 55 on defense. 26 strength of schedule. UCF at 34 offense, 98 defense, 46 strength of schedule. Looking at some of the players, obviously we got with Oklahoma State, we got Bowman, who's the quarterback, a respectable game manager. I'd call him right now. He's not that.
No, he's
not
played
that
well.
guy that's throwing 70%, but he's right at 59 or 60, 1,900 yards. He's 8-5. 8 TDs, 5 interceptions. They got a guy running the ball, Mike. His name's Ollie Gordon. He would be probably the best running back in the nation right now. 12, 24, 7 yards per carry. He don't play. The Knights, well, they've got John Rice Plumlee. 1273 on yards, 63%. He's 8 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, Mike. He's almost got as many interceptions as he has touchdowns. Not too good. They got R.J. Harvey running the ball, 876 at 6 yards per carry, not too shabby. We all know the bounce house, tough place to play, right? Tough place to play. But the problem, UCF is playing big boy football now, and the bounce house has lost a little bounce, in my opinion. More in tune with maybe a little trampoline or something like that. I don't think we're gonna have the bounce house anymore now they're playing big boy football, at least for a minute anyway. So, with all that said, the Knights are playing the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are gonna take care of business. Give me them Cowboys and a Gator Dave lock at 2.5 points, easy money. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm with you. I really think that the difference in this one is going to be UCF's run defense and their inability to stop the run. Ollie Gordon is going to go for maybe 300 yards. That's just it. UCF is 1-5 in Big 12 play this year. Yes, they are playing at the bounce outs, but you're right. At a place that historically they do not lose often. They are 2-2 this year. They really haven't looked good, haven't had a whole lot of consistency on their team on both sides of the ball. So I'm with you. Oklahoma State -2.5 in this one. But I will say they're coming off of their Super Bowl last week, so little potential for a letdown here.
Come on now. Big boy
little
football.
Potential.
Hey, we got some newcomers to the house. We got Public House. We got Linda joining the chat now. So shout out to Public House and Linda for joining. Keep it rolling. So Mike, let's head that way.
We're going out west, Dave. We're going out west. So we got Arizona -10.5 at Colorado. The Fighting Deons, right? They started off really good, not so much later on in the year, unfortunately. But let's talk Arizona first. So 2 of Arizona's 3 losses this year, they're sitting at 6-3. They've come on the road, but all 3 of their losses by 1 possession, Gator Dave. This is a good Arizona team led by Jed Fish. We've talked about them numerous times this year. On the flip side, you got Colorado. They're 5-4 against the spread this season. But as an underdog, now they are in this one, they are 4-1. And as a home underdog, they're 2-0, Gator Dave. Against teams that ranked in the top 25 when they played them, Colorado is 4-1 against the spread in those games. Arizona is currently ranked top 25. Colorado sits at 4-5. They need 2 wins in their final 3 here to become bowl eligible in Deion's first season. The remaining schedule is kind of tough. They got at Washington State, which, I mean, honestly, Colorado should win. Washington State looks like a terrible team right now. They've really kind of digressed this year as the season's gone on. And then their final game is going to be at Utah. That is going to be a tough game. Because Utah, I mean, they still have a shot at the Pac-12 championship. They still have an outside shot at the playoffs. They have a lot to play for right now. They're going to get the best Utah defense, of the year that they're going to face. And it could be the top defense that they face. They're going to give them problems. So this is really kind of a must-win for Colorado in this one. Like I said, they started the season 3-0. They're 1-5 since. So they've really kind of been going through some adversity that Dion is not really accustomed to. And he has started throwing darts at the dartboard here at Gator Dave. He adjusted play calling duties last week. He gave it to Pat Shurmur, demoted the current guy, and Pat Shurmur responded with 19 points. 5 points going into the fourth quarter, and obviously 2 of those were from a safety by the defense. So they were really, really struggling. But one thing you cannot say about this Colorado team is they give up. They fight to the end. They got quarterback Shedeur Sanders, Dion's son. He's an absolute baller. He's got the ability to keep them in any game. He's got the ability to bring them back in any game with his arm. So to me, this one's going to come down to Colorado's defense being able to get off the field. They really just have not been able to do it. They're giving up over 480 total yards a game and giving up 34 points a game under that Charles Kelly defense, former Florida State defensive coordinator. So you could see why maybe they're having their struggles. This Arizona offense is going to find success against this Colorado defense. Colorado's going to need to score early and often if they want to stay in this one. Definitely has all the makings of a wheels fall off type of game. But I'm going to go the over 54 here, Gator Dave. Over 54. I'm not sure if Colorado can keep it within that 10.5. I have a good feeling that, they're going to play a great game and they have a strong shot at it. But I could really see sort of a backdoor cover here for Arizona to get over that 10.5 right kind of at the end, or vice versa. So give me the over here. I think both offenses should have the ability to score. Who do you like, Dave?
That's a good point. Good point. So here's the way I look at it. So Arizona obviously comes in at 6-3, and they're 8-1 against the spread. So that's a big point. Obviously, Colorado at 4-5 have not done near as well. Arizona has won 3 of their last 5 games, wins over UCLA last week by 17, which is quite impressive. They beat Oregon State and Washington State. They've lost to USC and Washington. So Colorado lost 4 of the last 5. They've really only beat Stanford, right? Losses to Oregon State, UCLA, and USC. When we break it down, Arizona's offense is ranked 43rd in the nation, defense at 27. We got a strength of schedule of 31. Colorado 49th on offense, so which is kind of right there. But their defense, Mike, 117. 117th best offense in the nation. Only and their strength of schedule right around the same at 40th. So we got a spread of 10.5. So we're going to do some more Gator Day math here. So we got a spread of 10.5. Colorado only lost 2 games this year, Mike, by 10.5 points or more, and that was against UCLA and Oregon. Yep, UCLA and Oregon, who are quite a bit better, in my opinion, and probably, if you look at the stats, better than most say, over Arizona at this point. So, both those games were away, not at Boulder. So, my opinion, much better teams than Arizona. So, here's what I'm thinking, Mike. I am thinking that they can stick with Arizona enough. Say around. I think it's gonna be a tight one. To the point that I needed that 0.5. That it'll be around 10 points. That Colorado loses. But give me the fighting prime times to cover. That 10.5 points. If you give me 10.5. Gator Dave's going to be happy in this one because that's where we're going to go.
I like it, Dave. Well, sir, how about you take us to one of the most boring conferences in the entire world, the Big Ten here.
Well, you're talking about
for a pretty big showdown though.
It is is a big showdown. It's the 3-10. We got the three teams up there, and everybody else doesn't even matter. So we got Michigan at Penn State. All right, here's what we got. Michigan coming in at 9-0, 4-4-1 against the spread. Penn State is 8-1, 7-2 against spread. Neither team has really, and in my opinion, when you look at it, because all they've done is play, high school teams and their other Big Ten counterparts up there. Penn State obviously played Ohio State and lost by 8 at Ohio State. Michigan in 5th ranked offense, 1st ranked defense in the country. However, when you look at strength of schedule, Mike, 53rd in the strength of schedule. Not good. Penn State, however, 6th on offense, 3rd on defense.
Ratio.
10th toughest schedule. So their schedule, and that one kind of, I'm kind of scratching my head on that one. I guess because they played Ohio State already. All the talk right now is about the cheating scandal in Michigan, right? The big question is, will they be able to come in and play a big game like this, or can Harbaugh work his magic and run that effective game plan that he needs to against a pretty damn good team, and keep it close with them. McCarthy's thrown for 21, 34, 76%, 18-3, which is pretty damn good. Drew Allers at 1895, 63%, 20-1. But when I watched that game, he against Ohio State, he just looked like he was outmatched to me. I was not impressed with how the kid looked. I mean, all I've heard is this guy is the bomb, and he's all this and he's all that, but he looked like a young buck out there trying to play against Ohio State, and obviously this defense of Michigan is going to be pretty damn serious coming out there. So Michigan's obviously got the edge on the rushing shot side of the ball with Blake Corum and his backup. So I got Michigan winning it all from the very beginning of the year. So give me Michigan and to cover the 4.5 points at Penn State.
Terrible, Dave. Where's your integrity? All right, that's just
we're
first and foremost.
All
right,
no one's in trouble yet.
What do you mean? It's like daily something else comes out about this guy. Anyway, he's not there anymore. So that's, Michigan's making the right decisions, right? So a couple stats here for you, Dave. Penn State and Michigan in the last 4 meetings, 2-2. Last 6 meetings, 3-3. Last 14 meetings, 7-7. You know who won last year? Michigan's cheating ass. You know what they don't have anymore? The cheater on the sideline. You got to go against the cheaters, Dave. Cheaters never prosper, all right? So we're going to go Penn State plus 4.5. It also helps that I chose Penn State to beat Michigan in this game preseason. So I'm sticking to my guns. Give me Penn State plus 4.5 at home to get it done, all right? You heard it here first. Cheaters never prosper, Dave.
But I just want you to remember, Mike, the history lesson and how, it's not the same team from 4 years ago, Mike.
I don't know.
You know about that history stuff. Let's live in the now,
baby. You can't pick and choose when history fits your agenda, Dave. Doesn't work like that.
Good
all right?
Good point.
God.
Bring the agenda in. All right.
All right, real quick before we go back out west. Cover your assets. We talked about it a little bit earlier. We're going to talk your heads off about it every time you watch this show. Link is up at the top, shopcya.com. It's real simple. You need clear plastic bags whenever you go into a stadium, venue, concerts, high school game, whatever. They're going to make you have a clear plastic bag. You get one of these. It snaps right off when you're going through security. They can see everything that's in your bag. Check it out. Make sure you're good to go. When you get through security, you snap it back on. It's that simple. covers your assets, make sure you're protected so all the weirdos aren't looking at your stuff when you're walking around. Keep people safe. They got tons of designs on the website, tons of colors. Check it out, shopcya.com. More than just sports is what you need these clear plastic bags for. Get at them.
Hey,
They got
Mike,
they got a bunch of
we
designs,
got
leather
Chris.
designs, bougie designs, everything you need, every ton of event.
We got
CYA.
Christmas coming up not too far from now. These would make amazing Christmas presents. So you guys need to think about that, really.
Big brain thinking, Dave. Big brain thinking. All right, sir. Where we headed?
West.
That way. That way. All right. We got USC, Oregon. Who do you like here, sir? Oregon's pretty high favorite in this one, right? They're a 15-point favorite going into this.
Yep. So you want me to hit this one?
Yeah. Take it.
So we got USC coming in at 7-3. I mean, I saw them play last week, and oh my God, man, what a quarterback the kid is. But they're only 2-8 against the spread. Oregon's 8-1 and 7-1-1 against the spread. USC lost by 10 last week at home to Washington. They also fired their defensive coordinator. Lost to Utah and Notre Dame. All these teams have decent defenses, Mike. Just remember that one, okay? And guess what? Oregon has a decent defense. Oregon's only lost to Washington back on October 14th, 36-33. USC has the second best scoring offense, but their defense is ranked. Mike, we have 133 teams. Their defense is ranked 121st. Oregon, however, number one offense. So we got the number one offense against the number two offense. But Oregon has a bit of a defense, Mike, ranked number 11. And their strength of schedule is not bad at 11 either. So, you see where this one's going. Let's do some calculations. So I looked at USC's 3 losses. And in those 3 losses, they averaged 31 points. If we say they score 31 in this game, okay, USC scores 31. And we get 34 from Oregon, which we know we will. What do we got? 34, 31, 65 points. So that's all we need there. So my thought is that I am going to take in this particular game the over 73 in this particular game. So I think Oregon's going to score somewhere in the 40 to 45 range with USC scoring their 30 points. So that's how I'm going to get my 73 points, Mike. I think this one's going to go over.
I got you.
What you think?
I am actually on the opposite side here, Dave. I'm on the under. I think it's way too many points. I think this Oregon defense is going to be the best defense that USC has faced this year. And I think last week, based off of Caleb Williams breaking down before he could even get to the locker room, supposedly maybe he wanted some attention. That's why he did it instead of going to the locker room and meeting his family in the designated family zone and having that moment off camera. But we don't judge here. You know what I mean? He can do what he wants to do. He is a hell of a quarterback, though. Absolute stud. He will play on Sundays. He makes some crazy throws. But this Oregon defense is absolutely legit. Toughest one that they're going to face, I think, all year. They got those 3 losses. They're unranked in USC, so they're done. Oregon still has everything ahead of them. I think that their offense is going to be able to obviously put up success and have success against this USC team. They could easily hit 40. USC fired their defensive coordinator, Alex Grinch, who has been Lincoln Riley's, ball and chain, really. He's really kind of held him down from his OU days, and that defense has done nothing but struggle. So I'm looking forward to see what happens with that defense, if that makes any sort of difference. But at the end of the day, because really, in reality, USC has players on the defensive side of the ball. It's not like, they don't have D1 4- or 5-star athletes on that side of the ball. It's just, for whatever reason, Lincoln Riley's team, they are historically, there's that word, Dave, historically bad at defense. So,
True.
We'll see what happens here. But give me the under. I think it's just way too many points in this one. So I'm on the under.
Very, 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 very interesting. I just think Oregon's gonna blow the thing out of the water. So, and it's all
that's what I was on initially, right? I was on
They
Oregon
get
minus
40.
15. I think that they're
Yeah.
gonna do it, but
They
in that thought process, that same thought process, say we got Oregon at 41-42. If they want to cover against SC, that means SC's got to be around that 24-27 mark. That equals the under for me. So that's kind of where I went with it.
I got you. I mean, the only team that I've seen that really stopped them was Utah. So we'll see, man. It should be an interesting. I mean, a fun damn game. I mean, it is going to be a fun game to watch, no doubt about it. All right,
for sure.
Let us roll to the SEC, folks. So
Three left.
We do have three. We got three. So first game in the SEC, we got Ole Miss at Georgia. Georgia getting 10.5. Ole Miss comes in at 8-1, 6-2-1 against the spread, and Georgia is undefeated, and they are 1-7 against the spread, Mike. And that one game they beat the spread was Kentucky, just so you know. All right, Ole Miss lone loss against Bama. Okay, wins over TAMU and LSU and Arkansas and Auburn. Trying to give Bama a run for their money. I mean, it's really kind of in spoilage time right now. I don't, we'll see. We'll see how things go. I mean, we'll get to the end and I'll tell you what I think. But so the Dogs yet to lose.
Way to keep them on the cliff, Dave.
They've had some close games, within less than 14, right? Which is a close game. The only game they covered a spread against was Kentucky, like we talked about. Missouri game, they get Missouri gave them a little run for their money. They only lost by 9 in terms of Missouri. Ole Miss is 14th on offense in the nation, 41 on defense, and that 41 on defense, that says quite a bit considering where they were last year in the 80s or 90s. They have the 5th toughest schedule, Mike, right now as well. So when we look at strength of schedule. So when I look at a fifth strength of schedule, that 14th offense is pretty damn legitimate and 41 on defense. That's kind of where I like to go with this. So the Dogs have 10th best offense, 7th on defense, 30th toughest schedule. Legit. So looking at players in this game, obviously Jackson Dart's the quarterback for Ole Miss. 24-67 in yards, 65%, 16-4. And there we look at their running backs. We talked about this last week. They got Junkins at 793, 4.7 yards. Bentley at 388, 5.8 yards. And they got a running quarterback that's run for 334 yards at 3.8. So not too shabby. So we're going to run the ball in the supposedly Lane Kiffin run and gun. The Dogs, Carson Beck, looking great. I mean, 27-16, 72%, 16-4. Edwards is rushing at 632, 5.6 yards. And Milton at 295, 5.1. And of course, they got receivers, and I don't think we have to worry about their tight end that's not going to be there and all this. I mean, they're loaded with 5- and 4-star receivers, so don't even worry about that. So here's what I'm gonna do, Mike. I'm going off the fact that Dogs have not covered in most of their games. I think they win by 7-10. So I'm going to give me that extra half point there, and I'm going to go with Ole Miss and the 10.5 points, Mike. What say you?
I think it's a good pick. This Georgia defense specifically, and their offense, at times, we've talked about it earlier in the year. The first half they've really struggled, to say the least, against most of the teams that they've played. Last week, Missouri was one of them. I'm pretty sure they were tied going into the half. But people had a pretty good idea that Missouri was going to give them a game based off of what they did last year. All they did was improve. So that was kind of foretold in that one. But this is probably the best offense that they've faced all year for Georgia. So this is going to be a true test for that defense. You got to look at Georgia's schedule in the grand scheme of things, right? I mean, Georgia is good. Don't get anybody wrong. They've won 2 championships in a row, and those were no fluke, obviously. But this year, their schedule has been pretty light. And their first year without Stetson Bennett, Carson Beck has stepped up in a big way. I mean, he's performing. You can't deny him that. No Brock Bowers for Georgia still. He's still hurt, so Oscar Delp's come in. But, I mean, the kid looks like a mini Brock Bowers. He stepped right in, no problem at all, and they're having success. But my issue with this Georgia team is exactly what you said in Ole Miss's defense. Ole Miss gets after the quarterback. They get pressure on the quarterback. Georgia's offensive line has been a little shaky this year. They've given up some sacks, and they've had issues with pressure on the quarterback. And Carson Beck's just did a great job of getting the ball out quick. Give me Ole Miss plus 6.5 in the first half, Gator Dave. I think Ole Miss is going to go into the half either down by 3 or tied with Georgia. Kirby Smart's going to do what he does with his guys, rally his guys in the second half. Ultimately, I think Georgia will probably get past Ole Miss in this one to go to that next week at Knoxville against Tennessee in a big matchup there. But they better not overlook this Ole Miss team. So I think they maybe will start a little slow. Give me Ole Miss plus 6.5, Dave. First half.
All right. Sounds like a strong bet, Mike. I like it. All right. Let's talk your boys here, buddy.
All right. So, we are talking, unfortunately, the time has come for our 2 games. We're going to talk Miami at Florida State first. It is FSU week for the Hurricanes. FSU is favored by 14. It opened, I think, at 15. You want to know, first off, let me just tell you the worst part about this game, all right? At the beginning of the year, they released some look-ahead lines for later on in the year. I got Miami at plus 14.5 because I was thinking, that's a great number. Typically, these games are close. Let me go ahead and jump on that now. I'm going to look like a genius when we play them. And what did the line open at 15? I could have gotten even a better number, so it's not always great to look ahead, folks. You're not always getting the best number. Needless to say, in this one, Miami has struggled lately in this rivalry. That is why I am wearing the turnover chain sweatshirt, because that is actually the last time that we won in Tallahassee, Gator Dave. We were still rocking the old turnover chain back in 2019. So I'm bringing the mojo, bringing the much needed swag that we have, because we have a quarterback by the name of Tyler Van Dyke, who started every game this year but one, which was the game at Clemson that we did win. And needless to say, he has struggled in his last 4 games. He's got 10 interceptions through those. Dude is trying to do way too much. But, my biggest problem, a lot of Canes fans' biggest problem, is this guy has shown pretty much zero remorse, zero emotion after throwing one. They asked him about it in the post-game interview at the loss against NC State this past week, and he said the sun will come up tomorrow. And while he's not wrong, I'd like a little more fire from my guy. Supposedly, the rumor is that he will not be starting this game, and that it's going to be either Jakari Brown or Emory Williams. I really, really hope so. I really, really hope so, because otherwise I think Florida State has a real good shot at blowing us out. I'm glad it's a 3:30 game and not a night game. so we can go ahead and get it over with if it does go that way earlier in the game. Having said all of that, the more physical team is going to win this football game. These games are always close. It's a 14-point spread. I don't think it's going to be 14 that gets it done. I think Miami is going to be able to keep it close ish to get the cover. One thing about this game is in these rivalries, right? The team usually that has something to lose sometimes maybe comes out a little flat. And Miami has absolutely nothing to lose. We're out of the ACC race. We're really just playing for, a higher bowl seed, better bowl game. Florida State has absolutely everything still in front of them. They are undefeated. They are ranked number 4 in the playoff. They're already clinched a spot in the ACC championship. I'm sticking to my guns. As much as I hate it, I'm going Miami plus 14. If Tyler Van Dyke starts though, man, it is going to be. I'm telling you, it could be real bad, real fast. So I'm looking for the defense. The defense has to step up. Defense has to play. Has to. Florida State cannot score 30 in this game. If Miami's going to have a shot, defense is going to have to play lights out. So I think that they will do that. Give me Miami. Let's do it. Go Canes, baby.
So I am there, and I'm glad you led with or finished with the defensive thing, Mike, because that's my storyline, and I'm loving it. So Miami 6-3, 4-5 against the spread. FSU 9-0. All right, so let's do the breakdown. Miami lost 3 of 5. They lost against North Carolina State, and Georgia Tech, but they did beat Clemson. The Noles have had their big wins at the beginning of the year against LSU, who has the worst defense in the SEC. And then they've beaten Clemson. Now, they did beat a depleted Duke team that didn't have their stud quarterback, and I don't care. The guy came in; it was a joke.
Yeah, he shouldn't have played.
That was bullshit. So to me, they really haven't beaten anybody. I mean, they beat Clemson, but Miami beat Clemson. Okay,
with a backup quarterback, true freshman, first start ever. Just saying.
Let's keep it going. Florida State, all right, 9th. Best offense in the country, 16 on defense. Numbers look good. 9th strength of schedule. Miami comes in 37th on offense, 29th on defense, and the 39th toughest schedule. Okay. The issue late's been freaking Van Dyke throwing fucking interceptions. I mean, that's been their biggest problem. Besides,
that's been it. That's been the sole reason we've lost 3 games this year. Sole reason is Van Dyke throwing interceptions. That's it. That's it.
And a couple of coaching hoo-haws.
Nope. That's it, Dave. We're not going to talk about those. It's been the interceptions.
Yes. That's where it was, Mike. That's where it was, buddy. So here's my take. I think the Miami defense is better than the defenses that Florida State has seen this year.
There you go.
And
there you go.
It's going to make a difference. You ended with defense, bud. If Van Dyke or whomever doesn't turn the effing ball over, give me the Canes to cover 14, baby. Give me them 14 points in the game, baby. I'm going there. I am going there. No, dude, come on. We both were there last week.
All right. I know. That's what I'm saying. You just jinxed us.
I know. We lost.
It's like when College Game Day, has the graphics all the way across and they're all on the same team, and then that team just gets blown out of the water. Yeah. That's the vibe right now. But go Canes.
Yeah, you never listen to those knuckleheads, especially Desmond Howard. All right. Canes. Is he still there? Yeah, he's still there. He for sure would have beat FSU. All right. Here we go. Next game, final game. My Gators.
Final game.
Yeah, we rock it. We rocking. Florida comes in at 5-4, man. Yeah, are we going to
Who's going to tell them?
Maybe not. 3-5 against the spread. LSU comes in 6-3, 5-3 against the spread. Florida really has one decent win against Tennessee at home. Got hammered by Georgia, got whooped by Kentucky, and got beat by a limping ass Arkansas team at home this past weekend. 5.5-hour drive down there for nothing. LSU comes in having won three of their last 5 games. Last week did lose to Bammer. Okay. And we thought maybe they were losing quarterback. Guess what? He practiced today. He's playing in the game. Okay, so they lost at Ole Miss. They lost at FSU in game 1. Their biggest win now would be Missouri. Not that great, but it is a win over a ranked team. Florida's offense ranked 59th in the nation. Defense 61st. So love being there in the middle of the pack. Our strength of schedule at 23rd. The Tigers, well, they have the 3rd ranked offense in the country, but their defense blows lots worse than the Gators, 87th. So looking at the players, so we got Graham Mertz, respectable year this year. We've talked about him a couple of times. 2409, 74%, 17-2. Our running backs, Johnson and Etienne, 555 and 529, 5.2 and 6.0. You'd think, damn, that's pretty good offense. Well, maybe not. Our offensive line sucks. Mertz runs for his life, and the running backs can't seem to hit it when we need to hit it. Our 3rd down efficiency rate is about the worst in the SEC. So that's kind of where we are on the offense. So I start with the good and end up with the crap. On the other side of the ball, Jaden Daniels, 27-92, 72%, 27-4. He's the leading rusher for LSU as well at 684 and 6.7 yards per carry. Heisman candidate. Now, they do have Diggs, running back at 635, 5-6, which is not too bad. Now that Daniels is in the game, expect them to run up and down and up and down and up and down that field at 7:30 in Louisiana. Tanked up for that game. So, this game being at home and at night, obviously the Tigers love that. Now, LSU's defense kind of gives me a little hope that we make this some type of game in terms of scoring. And I think that's where it's going to be. I think the Gators can score between 21 and 28 points in this game. But the problem is LSU is going to score about 40. So give me the over, Mike, 63. Over 63, sir. What say you?
Yeah, LSU, first and foremost, they are pretty good at home. Their last 10 years, they're 54-12 overall. When they're night games, they're even better. But one thing about old Brian Kelly is he's lost a couple games at home and a couple games at night since being at LSU, and he hasn't been there very long. So you have that going for you. We're going to bring up a little history here for you, Gator, but I know you love some history. So in this one, the record is actually dead even, 33-33 all time in this Florida LSU contest, right? Going back to 2011, so they've played 10 times. In every one of those games, it's been within the spread of 14. It's been competitive every time. It doesn't matter if LSU was ranked top 5 and Florida was, 4 and 6. I would say vice versa, but it's been a while, So ultimately, I think the difference here is Jaden Daniels' health. Yes, he just got cleared from his concussion today. That's a pretty quick turnaround, and that's a pretty quick turnaround he's going to have to do against this physical Florida defense. Florida has struggled to pressure the quarterback this year. They've struggled to get sacks on the quarterback, but I'm telling you, they are going to pin their ears back and go after Jaden Daniels. And for a guy to recover from a concussion that quickly and to play in that type of game, bright lights on, night game, I'm telling you, watch out. Just if he takes one good hit, he's done. And this game's going to be, I think it's going to be low scoring. So I'm actually on the opposite side of you also there, Dave. But give me the Florida Gators to bounce back here. I think Graham Mertz is having a good enough year, completion percentage-wise. I think he's having a good enough year as a game manager for this Florida offense. It's really going to come down to that Florida defense. I think the offense is going to find success against this LSU defense. They're terrible. They've been terrible all year. The key is going to be Florida's defense, and if they can get the pressure on Jaden Daniels, if they can slow down the run game, I think they do just enough. Give me the Gators here, Gator Dave, plus the 14, in one that I actually think that the Gators could have a shot at the outright here in this one. So a little sprinkle.
Well, I appreciate that, Mike. I really do, buddy.
I'm trying to make you feel good, dude. You picked Miami. You helped my ego out a little bit. You made me feel a little bit better. So I'm trying to return the favor.
It's a team effort here, Mike. It's a team effort on our pick'em show. So that's what. But
I hope you lose every pick that we're going against, because for obvious reasons.
I appreciate that, Mike. I really do. So fingers crossed. Whatever we got to do.
Whoa! Hold on. Let me. If you're gonna be on Miami, you gotta do the U correctly. All right. This is Utah's attempt at whatever the hell they got going on out there, out west, that way. You know what I'm saying? But you got to throw it up the proper way if you're gonna be on Miami. Okay, no bad juju, Dave. No bad juju.
All right?
No. Okay. No, I don't know about that. So real quick, I just want to say thanks for everybody that jumped in the chat. It really meant a lot to us. We see the comments. You guys are hilarious. It's awesome that you join every week. We really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment below. Really helps us out. I see we actually have 17 people watching right now, which is awesome. Please like, subscribe. It's great. We really appreciate you guys joining in each week and hanging out with us. Let me go ahead and throw up this week's recap. We'll go through it. So the Friday night game, I'm on UNLV. Gator Dave is on the over. We're head-to-head again, also in the Vatech Boston College game. We're both on Texas State. We're both on Kansas. I'm on the Panthers of Georgia State at home. Dave's on the App State Mountaineers. We're both on the Cowboys against UCF after that big win against Oklahoma last week. I'm on the over in the Arizona-Colorado game. Gator Dave is on the Fighting Prime Times. I got Penn State plus the points against Michigan at home. Michigan, Gator Dave is all over in this one. He's not going with his morals, and we got to talk about that, but that's okay. I'm on the under in the USC-Oregon game. Gator Dave is on the over, so we got a true head-to-head there. I'm on the Ole Miss first half plus 6.5 against UGA. Gator Dave likes them plus 10.5 for the game. We're both on Miami, which is always scary, against FSU. They're plus 14. And then I'm on the Gators plus 14, and Dave is on the over 63 at Death Valley for that final one. Gator Dave, anything you want to say before we sign off, good sir?
No, I appreciate everybody being in the chat. We had another very productive 12 or more in the chat. Out there getting fired up, talking smack, which is what we love. And again, thanks for everybody that watches this show. Please remember to subscribe and like and all that cool stuff. I mean, it's been a blast. We got a few weeks left, and a couple of weeks left in the regular season. Then we go into the to the real deal.
Only 2 weeks
After
left.
that,
2 weeks left, Dave. That's it.
2 weeks left after the of the regular season. So it's been a blast. We want to keep this thing rolling and obviously go into the playoffs and such. But we appreciate everybody that's been on, and we love you guys. And go Gators!
Go Canes, baby.
Have a good one, Mike.
And go